Hi, I'm Ellen Knudsen, Acting Manager of Askew's American Democracy Project, and I'm here today with Kara Dillard, the Executive Director of the James Madison Center for Civic Engagement at James Madison University. Kara, we're here to talk about what JMU is doing for the semi-quincentennial. So why don't you get us started with some of your plans?
Yeah, well, at James Madison University, we take the 250th pretty seriously, although we like to joke that Madison himself wasn't really involved in the Declaration and the American Revolution. He was a little too young. He's still out here in Virginia, but he's conversing with Jefferson and the like, and developing all sorts of ideas that would later lead to the Constitution, which we'll celebrate in a few years from now. But at JMU, we're really leaning into how do we celebrate and make relevant to our students what the 250th should mean. This year, we are partnering with the National Issues Forums Institute to engage our students in deliberating about what's next America, to talk about a series of things around what values and ideas should guide our next 250 years. So through this deliberation, we get to ask students what views, values, ideas, and ideals that we have had over the past 250 years do we want to carry forward? What ideas, ideals, and values do we maybe want to leave in the past that might not sustain us going forward? What new values, ideas, ideals do we need to develop together in order to move us to the next 250th? And probably the most important question, which is, how do we do that together? And so we're really excited. We're engaging all 5,500 of our incoming students in the deliberation about what's next America, really showing them both that we can do civil discourse differently, that the kind of political talk about our 250th can be different than what they see on their social media feeds, but also to position these students, these 18 to 24-year-old students, especially the 17 and 18-year-olds who are coming to college for the first time and really getting a sense of themselves as civic agents for the first time, that they really truly do have an impact and can have a voice in what our country should look like and the values that should guide our country over the next 250 years.
That's so exciting. I think that those first year students are going to have a great experience. Are there other partners that you're working with as you're celebrating the 250th?
We also celebrate Constitution Day. We're marrying both the Constitution Day and what we're doing for the 250th together. So we're bringing together here on our campus some constitutional scholars, both to talk about how the revolution made us think differently about the rule of law around freedom and liberty and also tyranny. And what that means and what that meant then, but also for our students, what do revolutionary ideals and principles that then became codified into law, what does that mean for them today?
Great. And what would are you most excited about?
I am most excited to really and meaningfully engage our students in that kind of civic identity building that comes from deliberating together across differences about who we should be as a country. I think a lot of students today, and especially the younger students, really do feel like their voices aren't heard. There's a high degree of apathy. There's a real sense among our students that what they do doesn't have a broader impact, both in their community, on their campus, but also in the state and on the world. But we really are trying to position this as here's an opportunity for you to really develop your civic identity, to lean into this idea that agency can come from making decisions, weighing trade offs and consequences against the things that we can do to really push forward and develop an idea about who we can be and who we should be as a nation. For our students and for our moderators who will be facilitating these conversations, for them to say, okay, if these are our ideals that we're saying should drive our next 250 years, how do we do that? What are the real and tangible steps that we here at JMU can take to really advance those ideas?
It is exciting. And who's going to be moderating those conversations?
So, like other campuses, we train a cadre of undergraduate and sometimes graduate students to facilitate these conversations and these deliberations. Our program at the Madison Center has a fellows program that we call our Democracy Fellows. These are a group of paid students who work with us for the entire year, receive intensive training on how to facilitate difficult conversations, how to facilitate deliberative civic engagement. It will be these students, their peers, who are helping to facilitate these conversations. And that's part of what I think the magic of what we'll be doing in the semi-quincentennial year is really helping as having our students peer facilitate these conversations with their peers. And so it's really and truly a conversation between students for students about who we want to be as a nation going forward.